your American dream?
I'm hoping that people will realize that there's no such thing as race. We're all of one kind. I think the astronauts can explain it best that when they're in outer space, looking back at an amazing planet, and look back at that planet and say, on that planet, there are people, not African Americans, not black, not white, not even when it comes down to international relations. And all of them, China, Russia, everyone can really just appreciate the fact that we have a great gift, the gift of life. And let's not waste it fighting against each other. Let's work towards one accord and one race, one people, so that we can make our planet a better place to live.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Yep, voting. I'm a future voter. Well, really, I'm probably not ever going to vote. But anyway, hello, everybody! Happy Monday, Brad Squad. I hope you had a great weekend. I sure did. This weekend, early in-person voting started in New York City. And I understand I'm a groundhog, and so really I'm just a marmot, and my ilk is not really able to vote in the general election. Well, really, we're not allowed to vote in any elections. But that didn't stop me from getting involved. That's right. I went to the polls, and I acted as a poll watcher. Yep, I made sure everything was in order. Right this way, everybody. This is where you go to vote. Vote aquí. Yep, stand in line. Remember social distancing, people. Everybody has to stand 6 feet away. Here we have a little sign, just in case somebody gets out of line and they're not behaving. You can always call this number and report anyone who's, being rascally. Yeah, it was amazing, and everyone kept giving me stickers, even though, I know I'm not a future voter. That's okay. I still love the democratic process. And someone even gave me an I voted sticker, and it was amazing. And then at the end, I even made 2 new friends who are definitely future voters. So I had a great weekend, everybody. And I just want to remind everyone, if you are able to vote, go out there and do it. Voting, it's very important. So now I vote that it is the time we have all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live. Starring host Brad Bernstein with co-host Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Vote, and enjoy, and vote.
Welcome, everybody. It is Brad Show Live. It is Monday. It is October 26th. I am live in the studio a little late, so we got to get moving. I'm joined today with Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Nesquik is flying somewhere. She's flying around somewhere. She's flying, right?
Yeah, she's flying.
Flying.
What? Did you guys think that I was Nesquik? I just seen Nesquik's name.
You are not Nesquik.
I'm not.
You are much hairier than Nesquik. Nesquik does not have the hair that you have all over her face. Come on.
Yeah, she has great hair, actually.
She does have great hair, but not a beard like you.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes. How's your weekend?
The weekend was good. I actually spent it in South Jersey for a friend's birthday. So we just stayed at the house, quarantine stuff. This is how you quarantine with your friends for their birthday.
It's crazy, right? It's totally different. Totally different.
We really just chilled at the house and just enjoyed, each other, played games.
Yeah. Drank. You know what's sad is that I think this coronavirus is going to be around for a little bit, unfortunately. I don't think it's going away like that.
Till 2021 comes.
Yeah, now. Remember when it was March? We're in September it'll be done, right?
Man. Yeah.
And
we even said before.
Yeah.
You said May.
Yeah, we said May and then September. And now September, it's January. I think it's going to be with us for several years until it gets totally under control. Just my 2 cents. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk in the schmooze. Mark Meadows, Donald Trump Pumpkin's right-hand man, he said the White House is done trying to control it. It's just uncontrollable at this point. Yeah, so, but we'll talk about it more in the schmooze. But let's say hello to the squad. We're late. Let's get going. Let's see who we got here. Yonathan Elias, first one in the comments. Yo-yo! First one! Way to go! We have Dora the Explorer saying hello. Elsia Enots, how are you? Sasha Ford, squad up. Elizabeth Darby. Marsha Green, I see you watching. So is Keisha Wright. She's watching as well. Elizabeth Darby with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red hearts.
Wow.
I don't know for who. But that woman is in love today. Deion Watson, what's going on? Marcia McCullough, what's going on? Carol Anderson, the Tiger, squad up. Maduk, squad up. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Marlene Russell, squad up. And Jessica Leamy, Joelle Reed, squad up to you. Sasha Ford, Deion Reed. Who else we got here? I said Madukes already. Joanna Jacob, saying hello. Hello, Joanna. Rog J. Roberts with some googly eyes. What's up with Rog J's googly eyes today? And Maya Douglas, squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Safi Darbo saying hello, Brad. Rosanna Tagliabue, squad up. She's a new member of the crew.
Hey.
Kevin Hunter saying hello. Jacinta XOXO saying hello as well. All right, Yo-Yo, you got to do Vanessa's job today. You got to do Yo-Yo's job today. You know, the job of Yo-Yo is just never done. Go do what you need to do.
I know I haven't done all this in a while.
Yeah.
So everybody on all social media platforms, first things first, I need you all to please join the VIP page. It's on Facebook. You guys can become a VIP member. Just put in Brad Squad, and we will accept you guys. This is the best thing that you guys can do for yourself, because not only will you be able to get different videos and information that we probably won't put on other social media sites and other pages that we have, but you can also put in your question anytime throughout the day. We will take the first 5 questions before any of the social media questions, so make sure you guys join that right now. Now for Facebook, everybody, sharing is caring. We need you all to start sharing right now. We started a little late, so we have to let everybody know that we're up and going today, all right? Some people might think that we weren't coming on today, but we are on. But the way that you guys would find out if we are on, no matter what time we start throughout the day, is making sure that you click that little bell notification so you can get that notification anytime we do go live. All right, so now throw in all your questions, all your comments, interactions, the emojis, just like you, the googly eyes. Let us know what the googly eyes mean. All the hearts and all of the emotions that you guys are feeling, make sure you guys throw that in right there as well. Now for YouTube. First thing on YouTube, we need y'all to subscribe. Like I said, hit that bell notification so you can get a notification anytime we go live. Now, we know Boss Lady usually takes care of this, but now I'm going to be Boss Man. I need y'all to please put those thumbs up. Turn that little gray thumb blue, all right? I need as many as we can get. We started off, like I said, a little late, so I'm not going to hold us back, but I will tell Brad not to answer any questions if we don't get the thumbs up going up right now. Okay, now also throw in your questions in the comment section. Now we're also on Twitter at Brad Show Live. Make sure you guys follow us there and on Instagram. We will throw up different parts of the segments and different parts of the show, little segments, just in case you guys can't catch the full 2 hours on the show. But make sure you guys follow the IG, and you guys could also share the IG post. You could also share the YouTube post. Just copy the link and send it in a text message blast. All right? Now, this is what you guys have been waiting for. Let's schmooze with Brad.
All right, Yo-Yo. It's a very slow news day today, Yo-Yo. It's actually, to tell you the truth, one of the slowest news days of the year. The big news of the day, Both the Trump and the Biden campaigns over the weekend declared their candidate the winner of Thursday night's presidential debate. What a shock. Do you really believe that Joe Biden's going to stand up and tell everybody, after the debate, I gave it some thought, I think Donald Trump won? Or do you think Donald Trump's going to say, I have to tell you something. I really tried my best, but Joe Biden just did better today. I mean, this is that's the top news of the day. They're both declaring they're the winner.
Well, obviously.
Obviously, right? Biden said, well, that's for the public to judge. I felt good about it. I thought the moderator did a great job. But in the official campaign statement, they said Joe Biden won the debate. Meanwhile, the 2020 campaign manager, Bill Stepien, declared in a statement he is the campaign manager of Donald Trump. He said President Trump won this debate, and it was a blowout. That's all the news that's fit to print today. That's my first page of the day. Let's see what else is happening. On Saturday, Trump arrived in Wisconsin while you were down partying in Jersey. He went to Wisconsin to go spread coronavirus. He said he's feeling better. We don't know for sure. His only acknowledgement of the spiking rate of the virus in Wisconsin, though, where there was 4,660 new cases and 28 deaths on Saturday, was to claim that the United States death count included people suffering from other ailments like heart disease. So now, if you die of COVID, but you want to know what? You had some other ailment, you died of that ailment. You didn't die of COVID anymore. Not that COVID caused, if you have, you have a weak heart, Donald Trump is now assuming you died of a heart attack. Had nothing to do with COVID.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh,
come on. BS is this. Later Trump said, we're rounding the turn. There's no rounding the turn. We're bobbing up and down in the sea, and there's absolutely no end in sight of this, yo-yo. That is the problem. No end in sight. As a matter of fact, Mark Meadows, he is Trump's chief of staff. He acknowledged Sunday on a news program on CNN that the Trump administration won't be able to do anything about the spread of COVID, and they're focusing on getting a cure. Now, let me tell you something. This is the problem, okay? The Trump administration can't focus on getting a cure because they're not freaking scientists. Only scientists can focus on a cure. What politicians can focus on is public health aspects, getting people to social distance, getting people to wear a mask, getting people to follow freaking directions.
That is very true. That is very true.
White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, I'm quoting him now, he told CNN, we're not going to control this pandemic. We're done. We're going to control the fact that we're going to get vaccines, therapeutics, and other mitigations. When Jake Tapper, he is the CNN host who was interviewing Meadows, said, why aren't we going to control this pandemic? I'm a little confused. And Meadows responded, because it's contagious. Which is why you have public health issues of wearing masks, social distancing, blah, 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 blah. Trump doesn't want to hear it.
That is wild. That to me sounds like the government just gave up on their people.
Just gave up. Yeah. 9 days before an election.
It's wild to me that they're saying this, but Trump still says that this isn't a serious disease. Remember, he said he feels like Superman. He was cured in a day. Yeah,
and we're rounding the corner. And by the way, Trump had a team of doctors at the best hospital in the United States of America with the best therapeutics and the best medicine. And maybe if everybody had the best doctors, the best therapeutics, and round-the-clock care in a private presidential suite, maybe we'd save some lives. But that's not the state of health care in America.
At all.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden, he said of all of this, basically Trump abdicating his duty, the White House abdicating their duty on the coronavirus. He said, they've given up their basic duty. This is exactly what you said, Yo-Yo. They've given up on their basic duty to protect the American people. This wasn't a slip by Meadows. It was a candid acknowledgement of what President Trump's strategy has clearly been from the beginning of this crisis. Wave the white flag of defeat. Hope that by ignoring it, the virus would simply go away. It hasn't, and it won't. There's an election coming up, Yo-Yo, in 9 days. What a stark choice of candidates.
Right.
And both candidates obviously don't give anybody or very few people exactly what they want. But there is certainly one candidate who gives them a lot more than the other.
any other. Absolutely.
Now,
you know what sucks?
Yeah, what?
It's like, especially if Biden does win, like the fact that Trump is literally leaving the House in mayhem, and just like having Biden to have to clean everything up, like it's gonna suck for him, because a lot of people are gonna probably say that Biden messed up a bunch of stuff, because Trump literally is going to be leaving it. Hopefully, he's leaving the White House, but like he will literally be leaving it on fire.
Trump has changed more regulations and more executive orders than any president in the history of the United States. So there's going to be so much that has to be undone. And you can't, President Obama had a very famous line, running the United States of America is like driving a huge tanker. You just can't stop it in the middle of the ocean and turn it around. It takes time, So, all of this is going to take time. It's not going to be a miracle, unfortunately, which is why I said at the top of the show, I think we're going to be with coronavirus for a while.
For a while.
Sadly.
She. Man.
Damn.
Ah.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the United States now, there have been more than 8.6 million people diagnosed with COVID, more than 225,000 deaths. The United States has hit its highest 7-day case average since the pandemic began. Last Friday, the United States reported more than 85,000 new cases of COVID, the highest daily record since the pandemic. Dr. Anthony Fauci said we may not get the findings on the safety of potential vaccines until December, and widespread availability won't come till next year. Now, I have to be honest, in Donald Trump's defense, when he says, we have more cases now than ever, 85,000 cases, it's because we're doing more testing. Maybe it is. I don't know if the number of 85,000, that's the key number. The number is how many people we have in the hospital with COVID. Okay?
Right.
Because if you get COVID and you're not going to get hospitalized, you don't feel well for a few days, and you may give it to somebody who may end up in the hospital. But what we're concerned about, I think, with COVID is people getting really ill, people getting hospitalized, people having to get ventilators, and perhaps dying.
Yeah.
I wonder if the hospital rate is up. I believe it is, and maybe we'll have those statistics tomorrow. That's really the key to me, the key component. Yeah. Meanwhile, the big non-news of the day is that it looks like Amy Coney Barrett, it's fade day complete. She is the Supreme Court nominee, and she, in a breakneck confirmation process, perhaps one of the fastest in the history of the United States of America, it plans to be certified as the next Supreme Court judge at 7:30 this evening, around the time when we're just about finishing up social media check-in. Early Monday, Senate Democrats asked Vice President Mike Pence not to preside over the final confirmation. He said, not a chance in hell. Of course I'm going. Because, Amy, she could be casting the tie-breaking vote in any election dispute that ends up in the Supreme Court. President Trump on Saturday, he voted in West Palm Beach, Florida, in person, and he said, more shocking, boy, the news is amazing today. Who'd you vote for, Donald Trump? He says, I'm quoting him, I voted for a guy named Trump. This is the news. There's really nothing to talk about today. Trump arrived. I mean, when we're talking about who Trump voted for, duh.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Trump arrived at the Palm Beach County Main Library shortly after 10 a.m. According to a pool reporter, there were supporters on the stretch of road just outside the Mar-a-Lago and right around the library waving and cheering several Trump 2020 signs. By the way, this is actually an interesting statistic. We have 9 days left until Election Day, but meanwhile, 60 million Americans have already cast their vote, either by early voting or by putting their vote in the mail. That is more than everybody who did pre-election ballots for the 2016 election, and we still have 9 more days to go.
Good.
And congratulations to my son, Zachary Bernstein. He's 19 years old. He voted today, first time in his life.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I did not take him, but he FaceTimed me from when he was, because I was working. He went down, I think, by Madison Square Garden. They're doing early voting. So I said, who'd you vote for? And I leaned into he said, Biden. Biden.
Okay.
I said, okay,
All right.
you get dinner tonight. Meanwhile,
and for the rest of your life.
That's right. Meanwhile, because so many voters have already cast an unprecedented number of mail-in ballots, it may take days to call the race. I don't think that they're going to be able to figure out on election eve like they normally do who's the president. That's why,
really?
That's why many news outlets are going into rehearsal mode behind the scenes as they continue to cover ongoing election and voting news. The Associated Press, for instance, performs drills. Sally Busby, Senior Vice President and Executive Editor of the Associated Press, told CNN, "We are very much prepared for the fact that it could go longer than election night. It also could last until the next morning or until the next afternoon or even later. So we are very prepared for all scenarios." I mean, you can't just have one camera guy there till 10 o'clock in the morning the next day. You got to bring in new people. You got to bring in new newscasters. If we were doing our election day, at some point you would get tired. You're like, where's Nesquik? All right, I'm taking a break, right?
Absolutely.
So they got to figure that all out.
Golly, so that means it's going to be even more of an anticipating moment. Like, we have to wait to find out.
And finally, Pope Francis, he has appointed America's first black cardinal. Did you know about that? I'm reading this for the first time. I did not know about this. Last year, Wilton Gregory made history as Washington, D.C.'s first American archbishop. On Sunday, speaking following his Angelus prayer from St. Peter's Square in Vatican City, Pope Francis tapped Gregory to become America's first black cardinal. Archbishop Gregory is one of 13 to be elevated to the rank as a surprise consistory or ceremony. In fact, Archbishop Gregory is the only black archbishop in the United States of America. The leader is known for guiding the Catholic Church through its clergy sexual abuse crisis in the early 2000s. Since 2005, he led the Archdiocese of Atlanta before being appointed Archbishop of Washington, D.C. in 2019. The veteran leader was replacing Cardinal Donald Wuerl, who resigned in October 2018, bowing to public anger over his role in the sexual abuse crisis. Meanwhile, during an appearance in a new documentary called Francesco, Pope Francis departed from Catholic teachings, and he endorsed also this week same-sex unions. Francis said gay people were children of God, and he remarked, "You can't kick someone out of a family, nor make their life miserable for this. What we have to have is a civil union law. That way they are legally covered." Wow, what a change for the church. That's huge. That is huge. That is very, very big. I never thought that would happen, but I'm glad it is. It is. I think listen. It's not my religion, so who am I to comment? So I won't. But I was just thinking. I'm like, one day I think, hopefully priests should be able to get married too.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure the religious reason why not, and maybe someone who's Catholic can fill us in. But one day maybe they should. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to comment one way or the other. Let's get to Fuzzy Monday though. Let's get to Fuzzy Monday.
Let's do it.
A Labrador gets headbutted by a guilty pal for snitching to owner about a messy floor. People have been left in stitches by a dog who snitched on his guilty pal and the brutal way he reacted to the betrayal. The owner was holding his hand out to his 4 dogs, 2 white Labradors and 2 smaller brown curly-haired pooches who are all lined up in front of him. As they all stare back innocently at him, he questions them about a piece of torn fabric left on the ground, asking, "Who did this, huh? Who did this?" Until one of the Labradors reveals the culprit. The adorable white lab gingerly taps his pal of the same breed, appearing to reveal who committed the naughty deed. The less than impressed accused friend then headbutts the snitch multiple times for the betrayal. The owner for the popular TikTok account Pets Baby captioned the short clip, "Don't lie," with 3 angry emojis. Let's watch.
That is
Do
hilarious.
we have the video? Let's watch. I didn't see it. Let's see. There he is. Who did this? Who did this? It was him. It was him. Oh my God! What are you doing to me? I have to see that one more time. I got to see that one more time, Julian. Who did this? Who did this? It was him. It was him. He did it. It was my friend next to me, George. Oh, I believe you. Believe you. All right.
Good voiceovers.
Thank you very much. As the British Zoo, by the way, a zoo separates 5 parrots from the birds, were caught encouraging each other to swear at guests. That's really funny, too. At the British Zoo, Lincolnshire Wildlife Centre, keeping some of the birds' residents' vocabulary limited to some G-rated language has proved very challenging out there in the UK. According to the Associated Press, Billy, Eric, Tyson, Jade, and Elsie, who are all welcomed to the park in August, were removed from each other's presence since they were encouraging each other to curse and rally in expletive-filled rants at the zoo guests as they were coming in. Steve Nichols, the zoo's chief executive, said, "We are quite used to parrots swearing, but we've never had 5 at the same time cursing. Most parrots clam up outside, but for some reason, these 5 relished it." Now, though most visitors who overheard the colorful language laughed it off, the zoo decided to take measures to nip the behavior in the bud. The 5 parrots are spread out to different areas in the zoo so they don't, according to Nichols, set each other off in an F-bomb expletives. Nichols told BBC News that the foul-mouthed birds would swear to trigger a reaction or response, so when park visitors burst into laughter or other birds reacted at their interjections, they'd hurl more F-bombs.
Hilarious.
Is that hilarious? Can you imagine like you walk into the zoo, you're like, F you! F you!
Right.
I'm like, what?
Right.
Like cursing everything, giving everybody the F-bomb.
I think it would be better for them all to just be in one place. Now they're just going to have a bunch of birds all over the zoo cursing at them as they walk past them. Like,
yeah, like, why, pal, I'm just going to the bathroom. Why are you cursing at me, you know?
Like, what?
Meanwhile, animal rescuers in California made an early morning visit to a bank to chase away an unusual pair of masked bandits, young raccoons. The Peninsula Humane Society and the SPCA said personnel responded to the Chase Bank branch in Redwood City, California, after receiving a call from a bank customer who spotted the animals through the window. SPCA spokeswoman Buffy Tarbow said, "It's not every day an animal organization gets called to deal with a bank break-in, but since the bank robbers were masked bandits of the wildlife kind, we were indeed the appropriate responders." Now, I'm going to tell you something. It's not a very, I wouldn't want my money there. If 2 dumb raccoons could break into the bank overnight, I mean, don't you think a robber would be able to get in there too and get your money?
Yeah, this is true.
I don't know. I don't know if I would trust that. What is it? Is it the Chase Bank in Redwood, California? Seems very easy to break in. She said the raccoons were reluctant to leave, saying the bank managers let our rescue staff into the bank, and after about 10 minutes of chasing the raccoons around the bank, we were finally able to safely shoo them outside.
I'd feel so uncomfortable in there, though. Like, imagine a raccoon, like, all in your desk and on your seat and stuff like that, and like you find out after. I think that's just it's not clean, unsanitary.
I'm just trying to picture the bank manager calling the head of the safety of the bank, like the top safety guard, and says, "We had a break-in last night, 2 raccoons. If 2 raccoons can break into this bank, anybody can. What terrible security they have there, right?"
That's horrible.
That's horrible security for that Chase Bank.
Oh, man.
By the way, if anybody wants to rob a Chase Bank, not that I'm encouraging it, but the one in Redwood City, California seems to be pretty easy to break into. Meanwhile, there is a 176-pound pig that a woman shares her home with, and she treats this pig like it's her own little baby. An influencer in the United Kingdom, of course everything happens in the United Kingdom, who shares her home with a 176-pound pig, says she treats him like her child with cuddles on the sofa and playtime in the garden. Simone Partner from Bath, UK, grew up on a farm in the countryside and always wanted a pig of her own. The 28-year-old who posts beauty videos on YouTube and is known as Eltoria on social media signed for her first home 3.5 years ago and bought Milo the pig to move in. Cost her $650 US, about 500 UK pounds. The YouTuber and her fiance Joe take care of their parenting very seriously. I am surprised that Joe still wants to marry this woman. She lives with a pig. Would you be living with a pig?
Absolutely not. I can't. I could barely look at the pictures.
I can't even. I mean, I don't. Yeah. There's something called I don't want to live in a pigsty, right?
Right.
I would come home to my kids when I'd come home from work when they were young, and they had all their toys all over the living room. And I would say, I don't want to live in this pigsty.
Yeah.
Now that I have my kids grown up, why in the world would anybody want to have a pig and actually live in a pigsty?
That's wild.
Right?
And that's legal. That's legal to just have a pig at your house like that?
In Bath, the United Kingdom, it is. That's for sure.
That's a grown man. 176 pounds.
That's like a horse, but it's a pig.
That's a grown man, 176 pounds.
That's more than I weigh. That's like having Uncle Brad as a pig.
Disgusting.
I weigh less than 176 pounds.
Damn. I weigh a lot. Oof.
Well, you're much taller than me.
Oh, this is true.
All right, come on. Where do I come up to you on you? I come up to probably your chest, right? My bald head comes right up to your chest. Yo-Yo looks down at me and goes, who are you talking to?
The only time you look...
You talking to me?
Talking to me?
You talking to me? You talking to me, small man? All right, I got two left, Yo-Yo. Left hand to right hand to left hand, up or down. What do you think?
Left.
Your left or my left?
Your left.
My left is this, which is your right.
There you go.
All right.
Yes.
An Indiana family visiting Tennessee captured video of a black bear wandering up to their unoccupied car, opening a door and climbing inside. The Franzik family said they traveled from Crown Point, Indiana, to Sevierville, Tennessee to celebrate their grandmother's birthday. The father, Brian, told WBBM-TV, one of our bucket list things to do was see a bear. Well, now they did. Mom Carly said, I just screamed, oh my God, there's a bear! The bear is in the driveway! Again, the most obvious news in the world, right? I mean, what are you going to do if you see a bear opening your car in the driveway? What are you going to say? You're going to say exactly what Mom Carly said. I just screamed! Oh my God! There's a bear here! The bear is in the driveway.
It's wild, though. It's wild how they know how to open doors, though.
That's a smart freaking bear. They're smart freaking... These bears are smart. They're not dumb animals. Obviously, right? By the way, that bear opened. Go back to that picture. The bear is looking under the engine of the hood right now. Looks like he was looking like, oh, let me fix this carburetor here, or maybe let me pull this wire out so they can't chase me. I mean, it's a smart bear. He's tinkering under the hood.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. All right. The Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency recommends residents and visitors keep vehicle doors locked at all times. Make sure food and trash are secured where the animals can't reach. And if you do see a bear in your driveway opening your door, you should do what Mom Carly did, which is scream, oh my God, there's a bear here. The bear is in the driveway. And that is... Fuzzy Monday, Yo-Yo.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
All right, why don't you tell everybody what they got to do? Boy, I got to stretch after that one, right?
Stretch, yes, and I'll give you some time to do that. All right, so everybody, now, you already know what time it is. Everyone on Facebook, I need you guys to start your watch parties. One of the most important ways and most effective ways of sharing this video, just because when you start your watch party, it sends a notification to your entire friends list. All you have to do is click share. More options, then it'll say host your watch party and then start. Okay, it will take the video from our page to your page. It's very simple, but very effective as well. Now, sharing is also still caring. We still need you guys to please share. It's super easy how to share. All you have to do is click that share button. It's an arrow, and share it to anyone's page. You can share it in an inbox, make it personable. You can find different groups, share it there, copy the link, and send it in a text message blast. It's very simple, but I need you guys all to please at least do this one time right now. Each of you guys, start the watch party and share. I need you guys to do this, please. All right, now also throw in your questions in the comment section. Of course, we love the interaction. Make sure you show love, like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, all the emotions and emojis that you want to put in. Put it in. This is your playground. Play around. All right. So now, everyone on YouTube, I need you guys to all subscribe. I said this before, but I need you guys to understand that it's very important for you guys to subscribe, because if you guys do that, it'll send a little notification to you anytime we go live. We are going to start going. We're going to do pop-ups certain days. You want to know what time we're going to start? We don't even know. But the only way that you will know is if you guys hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can get notified. Now, we definitely need you guys to all please like the video right now on YouTube. I need you guys to put that thumbs up. It sends a notification to YouTube and shows that this is a show that they need to put on their headlines. They have to put it on their front page because we can help so many people. So I need you guys all to, it's so simple. Turn the little gray thumb blue. It's easy, but means a lot to us. All right. It also makes Brad feel good.
By the way, Yo-Yo, when you get a chance, you got to go back and read all the comments. They're making me laugh. Tamika and Kevin, there's like a whole thing going on. I don't have time to go through it, but the squad is making me laugh there on Facebook. Go back and read when you're done while I answer questions.
Okay, I'll definitely be on there during your phone calls. That's when I'm in the comments, because I'm talking to my people. So I love it. Keep that up. All right. Now, also, you guys can share the video on YouTube as well. Copy the link and send it in a text message blast. You could also send it to different social media platforms that you guys, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And speaking of Instagram and Twitter, we are on there, Brad Show Live, and it is growing. It is growing so beautifully, and it's all because of you guys. So make sure you guys follow us. We will throw clips from the show. If you can't watch the whole 2 hours, we're going to throw little snippets of the show, today's show and past shows on Instagram and also on Twitter. So make sure you guys show love there. And we also do some content sometimes, all right? So you'll find out when we do that, when you guys deserve it. I want to see you guys actually start sharing and liking these videos, and then we're going to start the contest back up, all right? So now, this is what you guys have all been waiting for.
All right, let's go to Alice in Ventura, California. Alice, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Just watching your show for the first time, and I'm enjoying
thank you very much.
every minute of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Is that it? You have a question for me?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead. This is your time, Alice.
Yes. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. My husband, who is a U.S. citizen, petitioned for my son, who is abroad. My son turned 21 April this year before approval of his green card. But he already had an interview on the 12th of March, but it was not approved because he needed to bring in a document much later than coronavirus.
Your husband's a U.S. citizen, right?
Yes, my husband is a U.S. citizen, yes, but I'm still a green card holder.
That's fine, because your son is under the Child Status Protection Act. Even if he turns 21, he's still immediately eligible. What country is he in?
He's in Kenya. Okay, let me finish, attorney. He did his interview, but he turned 21 in April when the coronavirus hit. And there was a document that he was to send to the embassy, which he did. But there have been no notification on the case. So my husband wrote to them an email, and then this is what they said, that they are doing nothing about the case anymore because my son turned 21 and falls under the presidential proclamation. But they said when they resume, services, we will get an update on the case.
All right, that is not true because he
Yes.
is considered under 21 for immigration purposes under the Child Status Protection Act. I would suggest you give us a call. He is not an immediate.
Yes, I'm gonna talk to you about it later after this, and then we can pick up from there.
Okay, so hold on one
Thank
second.
you so much,
You're
Attorney. I appreciate it.
Let's go to Yasa in Atlanta, Georgia. Yasa.
Hello, it's Isa. How are you?
How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, I called you last time, but I'm calling you today because I have a serious problem right now. And I'm married to a U.S. citizen. That's 2 years from now. And I haven't get my green card yet because of coronavirus. They just schedule me and cancel and reschedule me. But last week I have some trouble. I got arrested for misdemeanor battery. My coworker, we were fighting, so I got arrested. In the jail, the ICE officer came to me and we had some interview over there. I filled out some paperwork and that's it. And I got out. And right now I'm wondering what's going to happen to me. I mean, because my card is in.
If you get convicted of a crime of moral turpitude, who's sponsoring you? Who's sponsoring you?
Hello?
You're getting sponsored in a marriage?
Yes.
Okay. So hopefully the case is dismissed. Hopefully it's a petty offense and you'll be eligible for your green card. If it's anything more than a petty offense and you're found guilty of a crime of moral turpitude, you'll file a waiver. If you're found guilty of an aggravated felony, you're going to get deported. So it all depends on what happens on your case.
It's a misdemeanor battery. I don't know
So if it's a misdemeanor, it's not going to be an aggravated felony. So hopefully you have a good criminal defense attorney that can plea bargain it down to what's called a petty offense or a violation, or maybe even get it dismissed since it's a first-time issue.
Yeah, that's the first time. That's my first time issue. So I'm wondering right now if I get it.
But what's going to happen is if you get an interview for your green card and this is not resolved, they're going to deny you because you have a pending case. So you got to resolve it fast, but also resolve it favorably. So you need a good criminal defense attorney down there in Atlanta.
Oh, because of so they're going to deny my case because of that.
They will deny your case because you cannot prove good moral character if you have a pending criminal case against you. So that you're going to walk in and they're going to say, you have a pending criminal case against you, you don't have good moral character, denied. And you don't want that to happen, so, Yeah,
my lawyer told me they're going to hold my case first. Before they take a decision, they're going to hold my case first. They're going to hold my decision.
I hope that's the case, but under Trump now, they're most likely going to deny you. In years past, they would hold it. But now they just deny you. So my advice is, if possible, get a good result before you get an interview, if possible.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Be well. All right, let's go to Jessica in Hyattsville, Maryland. Jessica.
Hi, good afternoon. Good evening, Brad. I'm good. I have a question. I filed for my mom for extension of her stay because of the coronavirus. So she was supposed to leave in June, but there was no flight, so she left in July.
Okay.
And while she left, I already put in for the paper for her for the stay to be extended. But I just got a letter last week saying that she has the biometrics, and then she already left. So what do I do?
You have to respond with proof that she already left, but that you still want the case to be approved because you need that time, that month that she was here to be approved, because other than that, then she's violated her visa. So submit back and say she has left the United States of America. She can't attend to biometrics. Here's proof that she left, and show her plate.
Okay, should that be in the form of a letter?
In a letter, in the form of a letter, correct.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Paul.
Let's go to Elizabeth in Boston, Massachusetts. Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Brad. Good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Brad, my I-130 is approved last year, November. Now it's coming November. It's going to be expired if I didn't file it because I have a motion 3 or granted. So I'm waiting for the judge
What do you mean? Your I-130 doesn't get expired. What are you talking about?
Yeah, somebody told me if it's a year, it's going to be expired. If you do.
The I-130 never expires.
Okay. What about if I didn't file it? I'm not supposed to file. I have to wait to adjust my status for my judge, right?
You have to reopen the case and adjust your status before a judge if you've been ordered removed. Have you reopened your case yet?
Yeah, my motion is granted.
Okay, so then
So I'm gonna see the judge. The judge was March 18 because Corona they make me 2 years now. 2020 they give me date.
All right. So once they start, are you? I guess in Boston. Once they start seeing non-detained cases up in Boston, then at that point you'll make a motion to recalendar to get an earlier date. But I wouldn't.
Earlier.
Yeah. But you can't do it now because they're only seeing cases for detained, not you're non-detained. You're outside of jail. Detained meaning in jail.
Okay.
So when they start seeing non-detained, then you'll make a motion to recalendar to get an earlier date.
Okay. He gave me to 2022. Yeah. Okay.
Eventually, not now, but hopefully in a couple months, you'll recalendar it.
Okay, but the I-130 is never expired,
Never
right?
expires.
Okay, thank you so much, Brad. God bless you.
All right. Let's go to Obi in Arlington, Virginia. Obi.
Hi, Mr. Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
It is. I still will take it because my birthday was September 27th. Today is October 26th. We're still within that 1 month. Tomorrow,
Mr. Brad, I had issues.
But
let
me talk about my birthday a second, then we'll get to your issues. Tomorrow, you can't say happy birthday anymore because it's now past a month. Okay, now we'll talk about your issues. So you got it right in at the last second. All right, so what's your question? I'll help you with your issues now.
Yeah, my question is, last time I called you, I told you that my case has been hanging, and you gave me a date that if they didn't call me, I should call you. So lucky for me, they called me, they sent an intent to deny, which is 3 months today that we send the document in for intent to deny, and we have not heard nothing from them. And because the way the case, I'm just feeling weak every day. If I get pregnant, it goes out again. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I hear the stress. And it's causing physical issues, and it's causing you to miscarriage, and I'm very sorry to hear that. The only thing, I don't know what the notice of intent said. I don't know what you submitted. You do generally have to give them 120 days. Mm-hmm. If 120 days comes and goes and you still haven't heard from the time you submitted everything, perhaps then you're going to want to have a consultation with me, and let me try to help you out and try to relieve some of your stress.
No.
Okay?
Please. All right. Thank you.
So hold on one second.
Remember, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
When I speak to you, you'll remind me. I'm the woman who wished you a happy birthday 1 month later. Okay?
Yes.
All right, hold on. All right, let's go to Cindy in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Cindy.
Hi, Brad.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I am calling in to say thank you to Brad and his crew for the wonderful work they are doing.
Thank you very much.
That is why I'm calling in, because you have always been there for people. People ask you questions, you answer them, you reply immediately. It's not as if we pay you for it. I'm just asking God to bless you. I call
you know what? I was joking around a little bit, but honestly, it's very nice of you to call, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's why I'm calling in. I'm just really calling to say thank you for all your advice.
Thank you.
When I was tuning into the program, I was applying for citizenship, and everything went through good. I asked questions, you reply immediately. Just like that. You're a wonderful man. I'm advising anybody watching, anybody who needs help with immigration to locate Brad. You are a wonderful field marshal on immigration. You know what you're doing. God bless you all of you. The crew is a wonderful crew. Bye-bye.
I appreciate that. Very nice of you, Cindy, just to call in and praise me. That's very nice. As you know, by the way, I get very uncomfortable when people praise me. I'm like, ooh, I just do this. I enjoy it. I help people. I don't do it to get praise, so it does make me feel a little uncomfortable, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's go to Chris in Richmond, Virginia. Chris.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
Yeah, doing good, Brad. Yeah, Brad, I have a question. I filed I-360, VAWA in September 2018.
Right.
My I-360 got approved. I went my I-485. I have an interview last week. So I went there. I have a virtual interview thing. They didn't check any of my papers. They just asked me, have you done any illegal stuff in the United States, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. Everything went well. Interview just went for 20 minutes. They said I have to file I-864W form again. Yeah, and later they called me and said it's not required. So is it the chances of win-win or no? Just wanted to have a question about that.
Sounds like everything went fine. You don't need an I-864 waiver. You don't need an affidavit of support on a BAWA case. So there's no poverty guideline requirement. So I was wondering why they're making you do that, but I'm like, all right, if they make you do it, they make you do it. But there is no poverty guideline requirement. It sounds like everything went okay.
Okay, so just wanted to...
I wasn't there. I don't know. But based on what you told me, I give you a thumbs up if that makes you feel better.
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
Doesn't sound like anything bad happened. All right?
Sure, thank you, Ryan.
Wait 120 days. If you haven't heard, give us a call back on the show.
Sure, definitely.
All right, good luck. All right, let's go to Felaman in Los Angeles. Felaman.
Hello, Mr. Brad.
How are you?
Good, I'm fine. This is my second time to call you.
Yes.
I have to call you to two purposes. I have one question, and the second one I have to appreciating you, thanking you to the way you told me I'm waiting my AD working permit.
Right.
The way you told me is right and perfect. I got it. I'm appreciating you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I come from Ethiopia. Maybe you remember me.
You what?
Okay. I come from Ethiopia, but I'm here in the United States, Los Angeles.
You come from where country?
Ethiopia. Yeah.
I may remember you, but I have to be frank with you. You're not the only person in the world who ever called me from Ethiopia. But okay.
I know.
All right. But what could I do to help you today? Yes.
Okay. My question is, I got my work permit Saturday, so I didn't get my social security. I don't know how can I to fix it.
Well, you can apply to the Social Security Bureau, but they usually mail it shortly thereafter. So it should.
Can I apply it?
You can apply. You can go to Social Security or go online and apply for it, but they usually mail it to you. It's already in process. It should be in process and coming to you any day.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a nice day. Thank you for that listening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to Musa in Brooklyn. Musa.
Yeah, good day, Mr. Broad.
Good day.
Yes, I actually want to book an appointment to see you in the office, but I wanted to just chip in this. I came here with my family 2015. We applied for asylum. We've already got our work authorization, but I've been going through problems with my wife. Unfortunately, all these years, we've been problems. She decided to move out April. We filed an asylum. She is the principal. I'm a derivative as the husband.
All right. So if you and your wife are separated and get divorced and you're a derivative, once you get divorced, you fall off that asylum case. You got to figure out another way.
Okay.
I don't have the way off the top of my head. It's not like I say, okay, yeah, fill out this form. You definitely need a consultation. So hold on one second, okay?
All right.
All right. Let's go to Tessa.
Hello.
Hello, Tessa in Philadelphia. Tessa.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. I have a question. If my husband and I got a work-based visa, EB3 and EW4, and now we would like to apply for our son under the same category with I-40 and 864 approval, what form should we submit for him?
You got a job sponsorship.
Yes.
And did you adjust your status here in the United States or in another, or you got your green card and came here?
In USA.
Okay. And where is your son?
In USA as well.
Okay. And were you in status when you adjusted your status, or were you grandfathered in that you had something filed back in the day?
We got everything through the job.
Okay,
but before we had TPS.
Oh, you had TPS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my question is, and you adjusted here, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and the filing fees that you paid, trying to figure out if you were grandfathered in or you had to have been if you had TPS because you overstayed your time. How old is your son? So you had to be 245.
16.
16. All right. So you're going to file an adjustment for him now with the penalty fee?
No, because we never been staying, undocumented here at all.
You were never undocumented here ever?
We just got here after the earthquake, and they give us TPS, and since then we've been living here. We've been living here, never been
and they adjusted
undocumented.
Your status with TPS,
yes.
Is that? Surprising.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about your son? What's his situation?
Oh, still TPS holder.
But same thing?
Yes.
All right, so you're going to file an I-485 for him?
So I don't need to file, to file 130?
No, you're going to file an I-485 with a copy of the approved I-140 visa petition, and you're going to check off the second or third box on the I-485 that says I'm a derivative beneficiary of an approved visa petition, which is current. And you're going to also submit proof that you already have your green cards. And you're going to submit proof that you're still working where you're supposed to be working. And your son is going to follow to join you on an adjustment.
Oh, that's simple?
That's simple.
Thank you very much,
right,
Mr. Brad. Anthony Brad. Thank you, Brad.
Let's go to Jacinta in Canada. Jacinta.
Hello, Mr. Brad. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm okay. So I filed for I-485 with my husband, and we've been having issues because he has some other woman, and she's been threatening, and he's been threatening. And then we went for this interview, and he was denied. And they asked us to file an appeal, and he's refusing to file an appeal.
Why was he denied?
They said I was out of status from the letter they gave me. And then the
you're
later
married to a U.S. citizen?
Yes, he's a U.S. citizen.
And where are you now? You're in Canada?
Yes, I had to move to Canada just on the date they closed the Canada-U.S. border because I was scared. And the wife had threatened me.
Wait. You are a Canadian citizen?
No, not yet.
What are you in? What was your status in the United States when you left?
I was out of status. I was working. I had the work authorization. We had filed 130 and 131.
And how long were you out of status when you left the United States?
I moved to United States 2015, and we got married 2017.
Okay, and you came just showing what proof? How did you cross the border?
So, no. I came into the United States on a B1, B2 visa.
I understand. Okay. So you came on a B1, B2 visa. You stayed for 2 years. You were out of status. Now you filed an adjustment. Rightly or wrongly, they denied it. For whatever reasons, you got scared. You left the United States of America. Because you were out of status in the United States for more than 1 year on your B1, B2, when you left the United States, that triggered the 10-year bar, which is why you can't come back now. Because you have a 10-year bar to re-enter the United States because you were out of status in the U.S. for more than a year when you left. Now you're telling me about an abuse case, and your husband is purposely screwing up, or he doesn't want to help you. You're being threatened by the new girlfriend or whoever she may be. And so it sounds like to me you should be filing an abuse case, an I-360, and when you get the I-360 approved, you would have to go for a new visa appointment in Canada along with a waiver to come back to the United States without waiting that 10 years.
Okay, Mr. Brad, I just don't know what to do.
I just told you what to do. And then, so the first step is call me for a consultation. So hold on 1 second, all right? All right. In today's Braducation, I answer the question, Can you apply for a green card if you have a criminal record? Let's watch. Yes, you can always apply for a green card if you have a criminal record. Whether or not you're actually going to get a green card will depend on what your criminal record is, how often you were arrested, what your punishment or sentence was for your particular crime, and what were the underlying facts of that particular crime. There are certain criminal cases that you are not eligible for a green card. There are in fact many. There are many of those cases you're eligible for a waiver. Many criminal cases you can get a waiver for. There are other criminal cases you can't get a waiver for. Many of those cases depend on the underlying facts of that particular case and the jurisdiction in which your crime was committed and which you pled guilty or were found guilty. Each case depends on the facts, what you pled guilty to, and what your sentence was. All right, we're going to get to social media check-in in a few minutes, but if you didn't get a chance to get your question answered in our You Got a Question, I Got an Answer by calling our show, you can always follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I will be happy to answer your question as best as I can in the DM. You could also follow us at Brad Show Live. Follow us at Brad Show Live. You get the best 1, 2, 3 minutes of our show in little biteable formats, so you don't have to watch 2 full hours. And Yo-Yo.
Yes, you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms.
So in today's Attorney Close-Up, Spar and Bernstein's partner in immigration, attorney Shannon LaGuerre, gives advice on how to navigate your case during coronavirus. Let's watch.
You need to speak to your attorney. You need to ask them, what is the strategy? How do we move forward? Will I still be able to either keep my green card, get a green card? And so these are things that you need to sit down with your attorney and talk about. You also have to be patient. This is not normal because this is a whole pandemic that's affected the entire United States. And the judges' unions, the government attorneys' unions have been fighting really hard. They are trying to find a way to keep everyone protected. And so we need to be understanding of that too, but also understanding how do we move forward from this? Will I be protected? Make sure you keep in contact with your attorney, because if somehow you're depending on a qualifying relative where that person's going to age out, then you need to speak to the attorney. What can we do? Because I need to make sure that I'm able to get this green card or this level of relief. So very important to speak to your attorney during this time.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. Yo-Yo. What do we got?
All right, Safety Darbo on YouTube asks, I have a green card through VAWA for my ex-husband, and now I want to get remarried. Can I file for my new husband, and how long will it take?
If you have a green card through VAWA, you can get remarried, and your husband, it will take several years depending on where your husband is. 2 years or so.
Juliet E on YouTube asked, my husband got a letter to get fingerprinted in April 2020. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, he's not heard again from immigration. Do you know what's going to happen now?
I don't know what's going to happen with COVID tomorrow. Everything is on, a lot of cases are just slower on hold because of COVID. Just hang in there.
Showaman on YouTube asked, if my wife is a U.S. citizen filing for my daughter who is under 18 and on an IR2 visa, would my daughter automatically become a U.S. citizen when she enters the U.S.?
Not through a step parent, but through a natural parent.
Okay, Monday, Instagram asks, I applied for a visitor's visa in 2015 and said I was married, but I was not. I was trying to come to the U.S. to see my now wife, but got denied, and then I asked her to come so that we can get married before we apply for a conditional green card, which was approved. I'm now in the U.S., and after 2 years, I want to remove the condition on the green card. They said I was married on the visitor's visa, and they want to revoke the I-130. What can we do?
Prove you were not married, and then you're probably they're going to ask for a waiver. So you got to do, so if this was in Jamaica, this gentleman's in Jamaica, you have to go to the National Record Center, do a search in all 14 parishes to show that there was no marriage there.
Okay, Mr. Biggs on YouTube asks, I have my 10-year green card. Can I file for my wife and daughter living in Jamaica? How long will it take?
Yes, you can. It'll take about 2 years.
Frank Ugoji on YouTube asks, can someone travel out of the U.S. with a VAWA-based parole on the employment authorization while waiting for a decision, and for how long?
Yes, but they say you can stay out for months, but my advice is don't stay out more than 28 days.
Mariatu Bangura on YouTube asks, can someone leave the U.S. and go back to their country if he or she wins the DV lottery, stays in the U.S., and adjusts his status?
Yes, if you adjust your status, you got a green card. Go back and enjoy your family and come back again.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie Ash on YouTube asks, if a child is approved and under 21 for an immigrant visa, does the child have to enter the U.S. before their 21st birthday? Their U.S. stepdad already did an interview and is waiting for a status update, still in refusal for documents.
If it's through a U.S. citizen, the answer is no. If you're going to age out if you turn 21, yeah, you better get here before you turn 21. So it depends if you're an immediate relative or not.
Danny C on YouTube asks, how long does citizenship take if I live in Virginia and sent in my petition in September?
1 year.
Yasadaf Shaikh on YouTube asks, my mother is a visitor in the U.S. and arrived in January 2020. Her official stay was until June 2020, but we requested for extension due to COVID. It was acknowledged by USCIS, but we haven't heard anything more.
Yeah, well, you may not hear for like 9-10 months, but she's only allowed to stay for 6 months. So even if it hasn't been approved yet, she would have to go home, or you would have to file for another extension, and then still process that application, even though she's already left the United States.
Okay, Beast on YouTube asks, I filed for a VAWA in September 2018, and it says my case was approved and my decision was sent to my lawyer. How long will I wait for my interview and green card? My I-129 non-immigrant is also approved.
Wait, when was what filed?
Filed the VAWA in September 2018.
And wants to know when he's going to get his green card?
Yeah, so the case was approved and the decision was sent to the lawyer. So how long will they wait for the interview and the green card?
Well, assuming you filed an adjustment concurrently at about a year from the time the I-360 got approved.
Okay. Shushma on YouTube asked, is it true that if a U.S. citizen wants to adopt their relative, the person who wants to adopt and the child must live together for at least 3 years?
2 years.
Okay, Johnny S. on Facebook asked, my cousin has been in the country since 2018. It's the second time he came on a visitor's visa. Since they only gave him 2 weeks, although he was booked for 3 months, that was why he decided to overstay. He married a U.S. citizen in December of 2019. So what should he do next?
File an adjustment. Get a green card.
Apana B on Facebook asks, I'm a U.S. citizen and applied for an I-130 for my dad. My dad entered the U.S. November 2009 on a visitor's visa. In 2010, he filed for asylum. In 2015, from a CA district court, his asylum got rejected and issued proceedings removal, and he appealed in the 9th Circuit Court in 2016. I believe it's pending. But now he's in TPS, which is valid till January 2021. What are the options to file the 485?
I don't know. I would need to review the whole entire application.
Okay, Ayoade on Instagram asks, I filed for the VAWA I-360 and got my 1-year prima facie after 7 weeks of filing. Shortly before it expired, I got a 6-month extension. Will I receive an approval, possible RFE, or denial? I don't have a criminal record.
You may get an approval, you may get an RFE, you may get a denial. How would I know what you're going to get? Hopefully it's an approval. It's one of those three, for sure.
Let's hope for it. All right, Christine on Instagram says, I'm in Jamaica and this new proclamation affects me. So I'm currently waiting on my interview date at the embassy. I intend to adopt my nephew. He's now 2. Should I wait until I go through or get through and I'm in the States to adopt him, or can I go ahead and do it now? The process usually takes about 4 months provided all goes well, but I don't want to be the problem. I don't want it to be a problem later when I try filing for him.
I don't know where the parents are. So if it's a situation where the parents aren't around, then you would do an orphan petition. Your spouse would do an orphan petition when you come here. if it's a situation where the parents are around, adopt them now, but you would have to prove that that you lived with them for 2 years and had legal guardianship for 2 years. So hopefully you can prove that you lived with this nephew from 4 months to 2 years and 4 months. And hopefully you have some legal guardianship. Otherwise, it would be at the time of the adoption. So again, it's one of those, we need to know more.
Kadeen Adekoya on Facebook asked, my husband filed an I-130 bundle for me and my 3 children in April. The package came back before it was completed. He got a lawyer and resubmitted it in August. Do you know how long we should wait to get a reply? We've not received anything since.
Yeah, your application just got filed in August, so hopefully they cash the check and you should be getting a reply soon. It's about 6 weeks now, I guess.
Larry on Instagram asked, a friend worked with ITIN, the I-10, and she's married to a U.S. citizen, but she did not disclose it while filing for adjustment of status because of the fear of denial. Now she's thinking it might be known by USCIS. Is there a problem with this, or what?
Yeah, you've lied to the government for no freaking reason, okay? If she worked on an I-10, guess what? The government knows you're working, not that they share tax information with USCIS. Number 2, it's not a reason to deny your green card because you worked illegally if you're married to an American. So of course you want to tell the truth, because it is a reason to deny your green card if you lie on an application. And lying about employment is a reason to deny your application. But if you're married to an American citizen and you worked illegally, that's not a reason to deny your application. You've done everything wrong.
Yikes. Jerry Stewart on YouTube asked, what documents should be submitted in sequential order to the NVC after I-130 is approved? Beneficiary is outside of the U.S. and petitioner is in the U.S.
What documents? Well, they're going to ask for the biographic data form, the DS forms. Then you're going to need the affidavit of support, the police clearance, and whatever other documents they request. You upload it and put it in.
Sadish Kumar on YouTube asked, I was deported in 2004 for CIMT. Do you know what that is?
Crime involving moral turpitude.
I'm an Indian citizen and now Australian citizen. Working in re-entry to the U.S. legally either as B1, B2 tourist visa or E3 job non-immigrant visa. Is this possible?
Yes, you would need waivers though.
Okay, Royce on YouTube asked, when I get an approval from NVC, what would happen if I had voluntary departure in the past?
That means if you had voluntary departure in the past and you don't leave, that automatically turns into a removal or deportation order. A warrant goes out for your arrest, and you got to go back before a judge to reopen your deportation case. Issues, meaning that you got big issues. Big issues.
Big.
Big.
Big. Nanzo Ndibi on YouTube asked, what do you do after you submit an adjustment of status through marriage?
Wait for a biometric appointment.
Charizard D on YouTube asked, my 18-month extension letter has expired. I've been requesting USCIS for an info pass appointment since last September, but they have not scheduled it yet. What should I do?
Well, if you need the extension notice for work or travel, just go down to immigration and bring proof of why you need it. If you just need it because you want to get it, then just wait.
Getaway Portugal on YouTube asks, when do you think the U.S. Embassy in Mumbai will start proceeding with appointments based on sibling immigrant visa? Yeah. All right. Anderson Smith on Facebook asks, a person who becomes a LPR under the CAA, Cuban Adjustment Act, how long does the person have to wait for the LPR date to apply for citizenship?
5 years.
David Dennis on YouTube asks, if someone was granted asylum as a derivative and that person gets married, does the person lose its asylee status?
Yes, and you have to withdraw. Well, if you get married, if you file the adjustment, yes, and you got to withdraw the asylum case.
Mokui on YouTube asks, can I do an EB3 adjustment of status with a letter saying that if I lose a non-immigrant status, it's due to a technical fault not of my own, since I have a pending B2 F1 for more than 2 years, no action?
You do whatever you want, but hopefully they accept, what you're saying. All right, 2 more.
Brianna Clay on YouTube asks, a friend has filed for VAWA for over 2 years in
Citizenship Immigration Service.
Okay, saw that one.
It's USCIS.
It is USCIS,
yeah,
right?
But they just call it CIS.
Okay, gotcha. So a friend has filed for VAWA for over 2 years in USCIS, just sent another 6 months extension. What should I do?
Wait, unless, what are you going to do?
Right. Okay, last one. Diane White on Facebook says, hey, my brother filed my papers. All documents were submitted to NBC. What's the next step?
Wait for them to transfer the file to another embassy and get a visa appointment. All right. I recently spoke with David Kim, who is on the 2020 ballot running for Congress in California's 34th district in Los Angeles County. We talked about his platform and how being the son of Korean immigrants has influenced him. Let's watch. David Kim is a second-generation Korean-American immigration attorney and neighborhood council member who is running for election to the United States House to represent California's 34th congressional district. David joins me today to discuss his family's immigration story and how his own life experiences led him all the way to the path of politics and perhaps the next congressman from the 34th congressional district in California. Welcome, David. Thank you very much for coming on. I know you must be extraordinarily busy.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Brad. So yes, we're very busy, but thank you so much for having us on your show.
And you are the Democrat in the race,
yes.
Right?
Yes, well, 2 Dem race. So in California, we have what's called a jungle primary. So each party doesn't have their own primary. It's just more anybody can run. It's whoever places top 2, regardless of party, advances to the November election. And so it just happens to be that I got second place out of 5 candidates. And then my opponent is the current sitting incumbent.
I understand. This person who you're running against, what's his name?
Jimmy Gomez.
How long has he been a congressman? The 34th district?
Well, he's been a congressman for about 4 years now, but in terms of public office, about a decade for the same district as California State Assembly person.
What do you stand for that he doesn't, that you think would be better served in the 34th congressional district?
Yeah, right now, especially during these times where we have financial distress that goes to the core, where a lot of us are waking up every morning in deep-rooted chronic economic anxiety, wondering if we'll have enough money to pay for that month's rent or the next month's rent. We need leaders that are able to fight for the people and pledge their allegiance completely to the people and not be funded by corporate interests and PACs. Otherwise, you have a situation where you have an elected official that merely becomes a lip service career politician who promises Medicare for all, but pockets money from pharmaceutical companies and healthcare companies, who preaches free education for all, but takes money from student debt collectors and payday lenders. And so you wonder, I'm getting all of these promises, but I don't see any action taking place. And that's because their corporate donors and interests are against that. So why would they do something that their corporate donors and interests would be against? And so that's why taking money out of politics is a very important thing to do. But besides that, Brad, this opponent alleges that he's progressive, but he's really not. He's not really taking a stance on big, bold issues that matter. In a pandemic like this, where people really don't have the money to pay rent because they don't have jobs to have the money to pay rent or put food on the table, instead of supporting something where our district also is one of the most arguably progressive districts, in a district like ours, we don't want you supporting a means-tested $100 billion rent relief fund that primarily benefits landlords and has tenants jump through hurdles and hoops to prove that they don't have money to put food on the table. We want you to stand for something a bit bolder, like Representative Ilhan Omar's standing behind a rent and mortgage cancellation act. Why aren't you talking about recurring monthly cash relief? Why haven't you supported legalizing and decriminalizing cannabis and marijuana? Why haven't you done any of that? He represents the largest Korean population in the US. He has not co-sponsored or supported HR 152, which is calling for a formal end to the Korean War. It's not just unique of him, but it's characteristic of a lot of politicians, where there's a bunch of lip service that really needs to be cut out. And so we really need to put an end to that. And so we're fighting for big, bold policies, Brad. We're fighting for universal basic income, Medicare for all, a homes guarantee, Green New Deal, taking money out of politics. And we're doing that because we're completely people-powered. We don't take any money from corporate PACs, interests, or receive the help of super PACs and even non-corporate PACs.
From going across all of the different groups, what's their number one issue?
It's income. It's financial distress. They're not able to pay for the current standard of living. We have per capita incomes that are less than the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment. And so that's why the norm is, even in my apartment building here, we have two families living in one-bedroom apartments. Because with a salary in the low 20s a year, how are you supposed to pay for a one-bedroom apartment that costs $2,000 a month? And then the second for us, so our district, Brad, it covers downtown LA, Koreatown LA, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, and surrounding neighborhoods. And it also includes Skid Row, which is our biggest population of residents living unhoused. And it's something that has been neglected and hasn't really been addressed. And so now we're looking at communities where people are now just getting evicted. And obviously, kind of during a pandemic, you would expect that not to happen. And so through all of these areas, it's like you would expect the elected officials to step in and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. But the people are left to fend for themselves, not be able to hire attorneys that they can't afford, and just be evicted. And so all of these areas, I know that I have my fair share of cases, and also workers' comp as well, where you have our undocumented people in the Latino community, in the Korean community, and in whichever immigrant community there is, experiencing wage theft, experiencing horrible working conditions. And it's very unfortunate. There's this job insecurity that's living with them every single day. So what are we doing with those that have lived here for 5, 8, 10 plus years, like have no crime record, have been paying their taxes, have been contributing and doing their part, and have the references and recommendations? Like, why aren't we doing anything about those groups and communities of people?
Now, David Kim goes to Congress. How does David Kim fix this problem?
What we had under the Obama era with prosecutorial discretion and being able to close cases if they meet certain requirements of being a tax-paying resident.
Even though the law says you're here out of status or you should be deported out of fairness, you got a family, you got everybody here. What'd you do wrong? Just overstayed your time here? You
that's the only crime.
You worked out of status and paid taxes for 20 years. So out of fairness, prosecutorial discretion was a good thing.
So there are ways we can go ahead and push for legislation that codifies that. I know that the Dreamers Act wasn't able to get us there because tied to that was this Track to Citizenship program that various presidential candidates have kind of talked about and fleeing out on the debate stage, but now you don't really hear that anymore. And so even with that, like, where are we pushing for in immigration reform? And those are the areas that we can definitely push. Something that's more recent is with the whole Trump trying to getting rid of DACA, recipients being able to receive those limited benefits that they already have. Even with that, why are we subjecting that to the political whims of each administration that comes in with regards to those people who are contributing what I call, you're just as American as I am. You're contributing and being here and playing your part and being a part of our communities. And why is it that we're not really putting emphasis and attention on this? Even with the 2-year work permits, those are being reduced to 1 year, and plus with all of these travel restrictions and whatnot. And so besides everything else that they're not able to take part in as a contributing American, whether that be applying for federal loans or whatnot, but these are the things that need to be talked about. And right. Brad, there's so many ways we can start doing things, but I think the first and foremost question is, do our elected officials even have that as a priority on their list of things to do? So,
I think most elected officials don't understand immigration law. They have basic talking points that their subordinates give them or they hear from the national party, but I don't think they really understand the nuts and bolts and how immigration works. Do you find being an immigration attorney politically helpful, or is it a political vulnerability for you?
I don't see a sense of political vulnerability. I think a sense of, especially given that our district has a heavy immigrant population. For example, so CD34, it's a benefit. So CD34, 60% is Latino. And then of the voter population, about a little under 50% is Latino. So we have big undocumented communities even within the Latino population as well. Because immigration is such a big issue and because we have a lot of immigrant communities here, it's definitely helpful. It gives a sense of trust and establishment as a relationship. But I think for me personally, Brad, I realized, oh my gosh, like my parents are getting old. And we talk about how life was the past 30 years when they immigrated, how if they were to immigrate now, they would never be able to create the life that they created and helped create for us, given the circumstances and everything that we have going on. And so just realizing that, and then also kind of being woke or let out of my birdcage in the past couple of years with Bernie Sanders, with Representative AOC, with all of these other kind of movements and thought movements in that, was I realized, oh my gosh, life shouldn't be this tough for anyone. Whether you're a citizen or whether you're an immigrant or whether you don't have the papers, life shouldn't be this freaking tough. And that's what really got me to really fight for even just change to immigration, because for me, I wanted to be closer, to really help with and try all that I could to prevent young teens, individuals, families being separated and being deported. I think this America being the land of opportunity for everyone and all is, I think it's now becoming a fairy tale, and it's very sad. Very, very sad.
Tell us a little bit about how your parents got here from Korea, how they managed to live out of status, and how they were able to ultimately become legal and see their son run for congressman.
My dad was a pastor. He still is a pastor. He was a pastor in Korea. My mom was a piano teacher, and my dad is still very religious and spiritual, but he felt this calling of going to the US, and he had heard of a lot of Korean immigrant communities not having a place to worship and not having a pastor. And so my dad found a church population or church congregation that was looking for a pastor in Arizona. And so he flew out and he came as a visitor and then became the pastor of this church and was being paid under the table. And then I was born as a US citizen. And so then that's when they began the process to at least get their permanent resident status through me being a US citizen. And so through that, they were able to finally get their permanent resident status. But I realized for me, living in immigrant communities, how important it was to have somebody that was connected, that understood the needs and the struggles that the immigrant communities went through, not just the difficulty of learning English and assimilating into it, but where to get certain benefits and how to learn kind of the ins and outs of small business administration and how to be an entrepreneur in that aspect. And so what I learned growing up as a pastor's kid was I did a lot of these things for these families and Korean church members who couldn't speak English. And so I would be talking on their behalf in a car accident case at the age of 12. I would be talking on their behalf in a... You became
their lawyer as a teenager.
Yeah, as a teenager, yeah.
Right.
I was their lawyer as a teenager. And so it just became a natural evolvement of me into the attorney profession as well.
Wouldn't it have been so much nicer if your dad was able to follow a legal process to come from Korea to the United States, not have to work under the table in a position that was needed. They needed him. You know, part of the problem with immigration is people want to follow the law, but there's no law to follow for them to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. So it causes people to fall out of status, work under the table.
We're all descendants of immigrants, and to not realize that the freedoms, the liberties, the opportunities that we always once talked about are narrowing down and slimming down. Like, we need to be very aware of that and start taking action.
How does it feel as the outside Democrat fighting to oust another Democrat? Are you getting support from the Democratic National Committee, or are they supporting the incumbent?
Well, with the Democratic Party, there's the whole blacklist thing where if you're a campaign organization and you help service a Democratic challenger to a Democratic incumbent, they blacklist your organization. So we can't work with certain organizations out of their fear that they'll be blacklisted. So there's a certain limited set of campaign vendors that we can use and tap into. So that's for one thing. The second thing is, in order to get access to the constituent base for certain districts, you need to get permission from your state Democratic Party. And so we had reached out. They had said that they wouldn't be able to for so-and-so reasons, but it was very clear that they don't offer that information to challengers because they endorse their incumbents.
You're the outsider.
I'm the outsider, yes.
Yeah, to me, politics should be, I'm a member of my community. I want to do something wonderful to help my community. Now, you got endorsed by Andrew Yang, and Marianne Williamson, two people who ran for president this year. How did it make you feel to be endorsed by two prominent Democrats?
Who are also challengers to the system. To me, that meant a lot because those two are people that have definitely empowered so many individually and collectively in groups and communities as well. And that's what it should be. A government's supposed to be representative of people from all different communities, walks in life. And so I told my boyfriend, even Brad, hey, 10 years is the complete max. Pull me out of this, because then it's on to whoever else has been working in their communities with whatever background. And I think that's what really makes America more representative. And so when Andrew and Marianne endorsed us, we definitely started to feel the momentum of our campaign.
What are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter protests? How does that figure into your campaign?
So I've been very engaged and I've participated in the Black Lives Matter protests here. Also, the police here, we have our own story here. There's secret gangs within these police departments and sheriff's department. We have several murders connected with different officers being challenged to have one more incident to be accepted into a gang. And so there's just a lot of corruption just going on. And so when you have elected officials not being able to take a firm stance on these issues, but then continuing to take money from police PACs like my opponent does, or continuing to take money from private prisons, it's like, you're part of the same system. What do you mean you're going to bring change when you're part of the same old PAC? And so that's why, again, I think it's very important for people from the actual communities to be running and not career politicians.
What do you think of the term defund police?
When progressives use the word defund the police, a majority of them are emphasizing that do believe in the abolition of the police. But I think in regards, going back to the question of the nomenclature, if we were to rewind and maybe come up with a better term for that, then that would definitely probably be advisable. But I think in terms of acknowledging also that the term isn't abolish the police either, is just something to be aware of too. But I think that's where it's on all of us together, is to know what this term means and to talk about it more.
What is you get elected. What does David Kim's first day in Congress look like? What are you doing? You shake hands with everybody?
Yeah, I'll be working on the flagship policies of our campaign, but then also working with establishing relationships with members of Congress. But then also I think one of the things that we've completely ignored is the symbiosis and synergy of local, city, county, state, federal elected officials also meeting together and collaborating, which isn't happening at all. And that's something that I hope to restore in LA.
David, where can people find out more about you and your campaign?
If you go to davidkim2020.com, you can read about our campaign, about a floor to stand on, find ways to volunteer remotely, even though you don't live in Los Angeles, and then also contribute there as well.
Tell me what your American dream is.
My American dream is to fight for the second FDR of policies and issues for the people. That's when Social Security was born. We need a second era of that. And once that happens, then I'll go ahead and retire within 10 years from Congress and then go back to being a lawyer.
And for those who don't know, FDR's New Deal was Social Security and Medicare. And FDR was the one after the last Great Depression. He was the one who put in all of these social safety nets, and probably now's a good time for a new deal for more social.
A new deal. Yeah.
Thank you, David. I wish you the best of luck on your run for Congress.
Thank you.
All right. Somewhere in the clouds, we got Yo-Yo. Somewhere under the desk is a barrel of dynamite. The only thing separating me from a barrel of dynamite is answering 9 questions in under 50 seconds. Are you ready, Yo-Yo?
I am absolutely ready.
All right. On your cue.
How long before my work permit expires should I reapply for a new one?
120 days.
When will the injunction for family petitions be lifted?
I don't know.
Can my mother come back with no reentry visa after being out of the U.S. for 2 years?
No.
Do food stamps affect the immigration status of spouse?
Yes.
Can DACA recipients travel to the St. Croix Virgin Islands?
If it's the United States territory, yes.
How long does it take to get an approval on a waiver application to NVC?
Anywhere from 6 to 12 months.
I'm a U.S. resident. Can my son come as a visitor and adjust?
He can come as a visit and then change his mind 90 days later.
Can I travel with my advance parole?
Yes.
Is joint custody allowed for anyone?
What? I didn't hear the question.
Is joint sponsorship allowed for a K1 visa?
Just blow me up. I didn't hear the question. No. Sabotage. We were going to win.
No, we won that.
We were going to win, and then someone sabotaged your audio. I didn't hear the question.
I said, is joint sponsorship allowed for a K1 visa?
Of course it is.
What?
Someone is sabotaging us. I put that groundhog on the lookout. That groundhog's done nothing. Yep. Make that face.
Yeah. This sucks.
Yeah.
We had it.
I didn't hear the last question. I really didn't hear it. Sabotage me.
All right.
All right. By the way, but before we go into comments of the day, if any viewers would like to play a virtual game of their choice with Yonathan or Vanessa, they should direct their messages to the show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Yo-Yo, you want to tell what kind of virtual games you're thinking about doing with people?
So we like to play different games for sure, the Bradjucation, we'll do different wacky laws around the world where it's just fun multiple choice questions. We'll make it a game show. We also do, of course, Bradified marriage for the newlyweds or people that are couples that are trying to go for Stokes interview. So there's so many different games that you guys could even pick from. If you like some of the games that you've seen me or Vanessa go out and play with some of the people from the streets, you guys can pick any one of those games and we will literally make a game just for you. All right?
A special game just for you.
Yes.
All right. Comments of the day.
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from Yulene King saying, "Hey, Brad, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa. Thanks for working assiduously on these cases. Your videos are helpful and release stress and worry from the minds of immigrants. Thank you."
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
That was very nice. All right. Our second comment of the day. This comes from Miss Tamika Nelson because, her man's Kevin is here in town from Jamaica. Big ups to Tamika and Kevin. She's very happy about that. But she wrote, "We are snuggled up right now watching the show. And it's raining outside."
When we do the next Bradjucation, we got to ask them, what do you watch when you snuggle up? They're going to say Bradshaw Live.
We might have some Bradshaw Live babies coming up. All right.
Wow. Yo-Yo, putting pressure on Kevin. All right, next one.
That's what they were talking about in the comments. All right. Our next one comes from Red Fraggle saying, "Brad is awesome."
Oh, thank you very much, Red Frazzle.
I guess that's just our news from today. This is the obvious.
Obvious.
Know that.
Obvious.
No, Brad is awesome.
Obvious. What else?
All right. Our last comment of the day comes from Lisa Bling Rose saying, "Uncle Brad will tell it to you just like that. Take it or leave it. He's the immigration king."
All right. Thank you very much. And by the way, you know what also is obvious, Yo-Yo?
What's up?
We'll be back tomorrow sometime between 5:30 and 6. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.